What's up team? So good to see you as always. Today we're going to teach you how to do your first muscle up.
What's up team? So before we get started on this, we need to do a little warm up. Just grab yourself a dowel or a bit of a broom handle and do some shoulder dislocates. One thing you're going to notice on the muscle ups is Leon and I have different technique, and you all are going to have different techniques. When I come down, I let my chest come very far through because I have more flexibility in my shoulders than Leon. So don't worry if yours looks different to ours. This is just how we learnt to muscle up, and it's going to help you guys to learn your first muscle up. Here's another little exercise. Keep tension pulling down on the bar and press up just to get those shoulders warmed up. Spend a good couple of minutes warming up your shoulders.
So the first thing we want you to understand with the muscle up, most people when they first attempt the muscle up are not going to be able to do it strict. So they're going to have to learn some kind of gymnastic kipping first. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to teach you to do that. Ideally, to be able to do a muscle up, you're going to want to be able to do about 10 pull-ups. If you can't do that, don't panic. We can use resistance bands, or we can just learn the kip at the moment, which will help us progress to muscle ups. So when we're talking about the kipping movement, which we have to nail, it's all about that swing and momentum, but more importantly, it has to be controlled. And that comes with two body positions that we have to nail before we even move onto the bar. The hollow hold and the Superman. So the hollow hold, you've heard us and seen us use a lot. It's a great core progression, another isometric position that we use just like a plank. And what you want to be doing if you've never done it before, lay yourself down flat on the ground, draw your belly button in, abs nice and tight. What you want to be working over time towards is a nice open dish position. So your arms are going out, you're tucking your chin down a little bit, and your legs are out straight, not allowing your back to rise, keeping the core nicely switched on. And more importantly, you need to be able to move into that position quickly and effectively and hold it. So the Superman really is the opposite end of that movement. It's the opposite end of the swing. And what we're doing is we're gonna roll over onto our tummies and we're gonna do the concave, the complete opposite thing. We're gonna squeeze our butt super tight. We're gonna contract our lower back, reach our arms above our head and point our toes behind us as if we were being Superman. So in order to be really efficient at snapping into that position and knowing that you've got everything switched on, we would use something like a Tabata style training with it. Use your hollow hold for instance, hold it for 20 seconds, relax off and then have a 10-second break, snap straight back into that position, keeping everything switched on and nice and tight, and do exactly the same for the Superman. Okay, cool. So now we have our two positions. We have our hollow hold and we have our Superman. Let's take it to the bar. So the first thing you're going to do when you do the bar is you're going to have a look at your grip. Don't suicide grip, which means you need your thumbs around the bar, because if you lose grip, you are flying off somewhere, or you're going to fly into someone. So thumbs come round too. But what you need to be aware of is we don't want such a tight grip because we're going to be pulling very hard. We're going to be using technique. We're going to try and float through this, which means at some point we actually have to loosen our grip, because what happens as we come through the bar and we start to pull up, if we've got to transition over that bar and we've got our hands here, we are blocked by our hands. So we actually have to loosen off our grip to allow us to come above and push out on the muscle up. So remember, locking the thumb round, firm grip, but one that you can loosen off and move as you transition above the bar. And then also when we're talking about the hands, there's also placement. Some people go hands right together, which is a real tough progression. We started with shoulder width or slightly wider. Just think, the wider your arms are, the less distance you've got to travel, but there is a point where it then starts to get a hell of a lot harder. So now we've had a play around with our hand placement and our grip, let's start moving into our kip. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the bar. If you can touch the floor, great, you can almost step into your swing. If you can't, you're going to have to start moving your swing. So start by letting your head come through, squeezing your butt and creating a concave in the body, which is the Superman position. Then go the opposite way and create the hollow hold. My biggest tip for you is to retract and kind of compress the shoulder blades back down to the back, to the rib cage, so they're nice and strong, but also keep tight. When I'm talking about keeping tight, I'm talking about, imagine there is a penny in between your two big toes and you are nipping them together. A tight core, a tight body at the bottom will translate into an efficient swing and get you up and above that bar. And do not underestimate how important and how tricky just that basic kipping movement is, being able to keep the body aligned and under the bar. You will start to swing all over the place, but make sure that you've got that tension, you've got it under control and you've got it nailed, because if you get the basic nailed, as we say all the time, when it comes to that explosive transition, you're going to have so much more power to offer. So we've got our kip down and we want to start translating that power up to get us over the bar. This is where the butt, the glutes come into play. So we've gone through on our kip, we've tucked our head through, and we've got a nice extension. We created that kind of concave in the back. We're feeling tightness in our lats, in our chest. We've got that potential energy built up in those stretched muscles. This is where the magic happens. We kick our legs through, back into our kip, and we're in flexion, so we've got this bend at the hips. We pop our butt, squeeze our glutes, and that's where our initial drive comes up. While we're doing that, we're doing like a lat pull down in front, and this is the key part. Once our sternum is above the bar, we can then pull in to the bar.
From this position, it's easy to get a little bit overexcited and start trying to bang out a tricep press. Admittedly, if you've got that far, you've absolutely smashed it, but this is where you need to be controlled. Keep your chest forward, get your head down a little bit, make sure that your hands are nice and tight and you can push up into a tricep extension. Really gonna bang the triceps out. You're at the top, amazing. This is where the panic sets in. You've locked everything out and you're going, oh my God, this is a lot higher than I thought. This is where the magic happens, and this is what's really important to be able to eventually start linking your muscle ups. Reverse the tricep extension into a dip. So you're back onto the sternum, your elbows are in, there's none of this chicken winging going on. And from there, it's releasing the grip a little bit, so you're allowing your elbows to come back underneath the bar. And as you drop forward, you're bringing your head through, snapping into that Superman position to instantly again, swing back the opposite way into the hollow hold position and suck up and repeat the movement.
And all the while, you are keeping it tight. When I'm talking about keeping it tight, yes, I am insinuating you need to tighten muscles, but I mean form. Feet are close together. Remember, you're nipping that penny in between your big toes. Legs are tight together. Your shoulders and your shoulder blades are against the rib cage, and you are in control, because all this power is coming from your glutes and your swing. And if everything around it is made of jelly, all that power is lost, so you must stay tight.
So these are your basics to get you moving towards your first kipping muscle up. Yes, if you want to do strict ones, it's going to be about time in the saddle and a hell of a lot more strength. So just bear in mind, if you find those positions to flip into, especially the Superman on the bar, you find that really hard and quite tight on the front. If you've done a lot of bodybuilding in your past, like me and John definitely have, anterior delts, pec minor may well be tight. You might need to release those off as well to make sure that your shoulders are nice and mobile.
Yeah, one little point to think about is your rotator cuff strength as well. The shoulders in the kipping position do take a good amount of work, so they need to be strong and stable. So remember what I said about keeping the shoulders kind of in their joints by using the shoulder blades pinned against the back, but also do plenty of external rotation, something we always talk about. If you look through our last vlogs, there is loads of kind of external rotator cuff stuff to do.
So there you have it, team. Make sure when you start doing your muscle ups, you tag us in your pictures and videos, because we'd love to see them. If you want any more tutorials like this on how to do your first, whatever it may well be, put a comment below. Keep it clean, keep it lean. We'll be back this time next week. Love you all, and goodbye.
Bye, guys.
And before we even get up on the bar, you need to nail them on the floor.
Oh.
Whoa,
Business.
Whoa, business.